Good morning, everybody. Brian is all jacked up for another H2H.
Did you hear them yet?
Yeah, it's a good one.
I'm all ready to go.
H2H Live. I'm Matt Trotz. Over there is the guitarist himself, Brian Keller.
Couldn't play guitar if I had to.
Right here is the drummer, Kyle Carpenter. How you guys doing this
I
morning?
can mess them up for sure.
I'm good. I'm doing good. As long as the audio's working,
Well,
I'm good.
I mean,
Yeah, what's going on there?
three monsters and a 5-hour energy drink ain't bad, is it?
Already?
No.
I thought I had a problem.
I thought Matt was the only guy that did that kind of shit.
The monster hit me hard this morning. I don't know why. It's weird.
Are you still on the white monsters?
Yes, I need to stop.
Are you still on like a 3 monster a day thing?
I
Or
don't drink monsters.
5-hour energy is like
still?
Yo, two a day.
All the time.
breakfast and lunch.
Like weekends, this is a 7-day a week. This is a normal part of your daily routine.
2 a day.
You're not afraid of that being like an addicting kind of a...
guts.
Well, obviously it is. I already have an addiction. Like if I'm doing it 2 times a day.
What's that going to do to your system?
I don't know.
It's crazy when you drink energy drinks. Like it gets to a point where you don't even. It's just a habit of drinking it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
and I'm-
I walk up to into the gas station, be like, "Oh, I gotta get a monster." Well, why? Why? Just like smoking. Why did I do it? So I should quit.
I know that, so I'm like, I use 5-hour energy if I have to drive a long ways, or like I try not to, so it like still works.
The only time I take a 5-hour energy is on the road trips.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't know. Like, is it a crutch at this point? Does it even work anymore? I don't know. I don't think so.
Why don't you stop it and see what happens?
I have tried. It's the you
I have tried.
it's that caffeine headache. That just sucks.
66
you know what I'm
times.
saying? Like,
So you get that and you don't take them?
once
I will.
Once I have to try to, I have to just get through that.
See, that's the thing with like Celsius. You had those. Mm-hmm. Those are awesome. They're like really, really good. I mean, you're like, boom, you ready to rock because it's like 12 shots of coffee in there.
But you get
The caffeine, I think it was like 200 milligrams of caffeine or something.
a huge crash.
But I don't.
You don't?
But I know it's what's in there, so it's like I'm very scheduled on when hey, morning, Joe. I'm very like routine about it. Like during football season, it's like one every day right before practice.
Yeah.
And then when I want the boys to know, like,
Poor kids.
and then when I want the boys to know, like, today is like really go time. I won't get there until practice. Then I'll give my little speech, and then they're like, "Oh shit!"
Coach is cracking his
Coaches open a Celsius at practice. This is gonna be a long day.
It'll be a fun practice. That happened to me.
Kyle's
Breaking stuff.
So anyways, what's up, everybody? Hope you're having a good start to your Thursday. We're here today to talk about head-to-head, obviously, the 2024 season. Don't forget.
You're gonna say it. You're gonna say it.
I'm already on it, bro. Tonight, we have another MTA, Meet the Anglers, with our teams tonight. Tonight, our teams are Ted Miller and Cody Solberg. So that show will be happening right here on Fix TV at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. There it is.
See, and it's awesome because Ted actually kind of launched into what I want to talk about today.
Yeah.
But real quick before, do us a favor and get on over to fix.tv right now. We're going to cut this feed off at some point. Help support us by doing what we're doing here. Get over there and watch it. Site's awesome. We got all this new stuff coming. Yep. Joel, if you ask me your question over on Fix TV, I'll totally answer it for you.
I answer it.
What?
As I answer it.
Okay, well, he answered it. But so part of what we're doing is, I understand everybody likes Facebook. Facebook really doesn't like us a whole lot, right? So get over to fix.tv, phyx.tv. It's 100% free. It will ask you to register for an account. You can use Facebook or your Google account, whatever. It's super easy. It's literally like one click and you're in.
Yep.
That's why, and the reason for that is it's free. It's 100% free. But the reason we need to have an account is that's how it controls like your continued watching and your my list, so you can favorite stuff.
Yeah.
All of that kind of stuff.
And then want to CC information.
Well, and when you're in chat, you got to register to have a chat. We can't just have like 35,000 anonymous people chatting. How are we supposed to communicate with you?
Right.
So that's the purpose for it. But you can use your Facebook account to log in. It's like super fast and easy.
Yep.
Like super easy. So go ahead, get over there. Kind of going forward, like our chat responses, like we're going to say hi to everybody because I'm a nice guy. But if you really want your chat question read, chat over on Fix TV. There's a little, like when you go to you can't miss the podcast. It's not hard. It's literally right there. There's a button that says full screen. When you click on that, it's going to ask you to log in. Super easy. Once you're logged in, you're logged in.
Yeah.
And then there's literally a little white chat bubble in the top right corner of the screen.
Yeah.
as easy as
Andy,
you
if
get.
you are able to at some point, maybe you can kind of bring that up and we can show people, or like you did a great job explaining it. The thing about it, everybody, is again, we're going to talk about it a lot, but support Fix TV, not by subscribing, if you can, if you don't want ads, helps the sport head to head.
Well, and the thing is there's going to be ads everywhere.
Yep.
So while we're live on for the hour or whatever, we're live on Facebook, you're going to be getting full screen interrupted ads. Like even during fishing, morning Tony, even during the fishing show, it's going to just cut hard to an ad full screen, like hard cut. Could be right in front of the net, like guys about right net a 10-pounder, boom ad. Everybody's going to be all pissed about it. Well, then just go sign up, right? So now there are ads on Fix TV. That's why it's still free, but they're not full screen. It kind of goes picture in picture. You're never going to lose track of the show when the ads come up. You can even mute the ads. You don't even have to listen to them, but we still get credit for the ad run. So it's kind of a win-win. Like people don't want to necessarily pay a subscription, whatever. You can, if you want to get rid of ads completely, go ahead, be my guest, but you don't have to.
So speaking of win-win, I think that kind of leads into our topic of conversation today for head-to-head, right?
Morning, diehard.
I don't know if I'm going to phrase this correctly.
But you probably won't.
Is winning in a head-to-head all what head-to-head is really about? Is that kind of like the alley we want to go with this?
Let me just preface this with, I made a comment last week about head-to-head not being a tournament, right? Ted Miller, who we're going to have on tonight, came back and said, no, you're wrong. It's 100% a tournament. So then we did our normal, a little powwow this morning. We started talking about that, and I said, I think this is a great topic for the show because Kyle's, your opinion was, what was your opinion?
Well, for the anglers, it is a tournament because there's money on the line, there's bragging rights, there's win and losses. So there is a tournament going on there. What the side you're going towards and what we've been saying, you've been saying from the beginning of a head-to-head.
But here's the difference. There is no wins and losses in a tournament. There's a winner and everybody else, right?
Well, it's a round robin to get into the qualifier.
But only if you fish a Wisco, you're trying to make that championship, right? If you fish a local weekend Saturday tournament, Battle and Bago, for instance, there's a winner, and then there's some other, you make some money, finish in the top 10, whatever. Okay, fine, that's great. But there's one winner and then a whole bunch of losers.
Right.
As far as the winner go home mentality. Mm-hmm. And that's where I'm coming from with head-to-head not being a tournament, is it's really a season. Like we have a regular season and a playoffs now.
Yep.
And I think that these guys that, like we had our first Meet the Angler last week, and we got into this fish the fish mentality. And I agree, at some point you have to fish what is happening in front of you. But on the same time, you got 4 hours, and like you said this morning, some dude catches an 8-pounder in 5 minutes, in the first 5 minutes, and it's going to happen into pier on one of these walleye tournaments. Some dude, first cast of the day, is going to land an 8-pounder. You are now instantly 8 pounds down. You're going to sit here and tell me that, I'm just going to fish my fish all day and see what's going to happen. Bullshit.
That pressure is ridiculous.
But that's my point, right? Like, sports is like that, right? Like, I mean, most people that are watching this are from the upper Midwest. 40 million people watch the Packer game, right? Dallas came out there thinking, well, we're just going to play our game. We're going to do our thing. They got the shit kicked out of them in the first quarter.
Yes.
And they had no game plan.
Nope.
They had no game plan. That's what's going to happen.
They overlooked it, right?
Everybody's got a game plan until you get punched in the mouth.
Yeah. My point is, and join me with Craig 11-1. Nameless plug on the Sports Couch, and I'll really get into football stuff, which is my,
bread and butter.
But my point is, if your attitude going into one of these events is, I'm just going to do the best I can do, you're not going to be successful.
Yeah,
you just won't.
You may win a couple matches, but you're not going to, in the long run of this, and which this is, it's a marathon of a season.
Yep.
You need to have the kill attitude in every match. And there's some of these guys that do already, that have that mindset going into it, that have fished head-to-head in the past because they know the pressure.
See, and I think that the way these guys need to start thinking about pre-fishing is going to change.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is just my opinion. They can do whatever, and I hope to God that some guy can sit here winning this championship in September, look me dead in the eye and tell me I'm a moron and I'm dead wrong.
Right.
But we're in this situation because this is what we get to do, right?
Yep.
I think that the mindset of some guys, right, now, on the bass side, you've got these guys, we got some really good sticks on the bass side. We got some really good sticks on the walleye side as well. The reason I kind of make that differentiation is because on the bass side, it's more of a seasoned mindset. walleye fishing's always been kind of jackpotty.
Yep.
A little bit. Not that there's not jackpotters and bass, but I think the jackpotting in walleye is a little bit heavier. Okay.
I would agree with that.
Meaning, I'm only going to fish the bay. I'm only going to fish Bago because this is my bread and butter. This is what I do. Well, when you fish that jackpot tournament, in the fishing world, it's what's called the hero or zero mindset. I'm either going to win it or I don't even know if I fished it. I use Jimmy Hughes as an example. Anybody who fishes walleyes on the Lake Winnebago system knows who Jimmy Hughes is. He's been doing it forever. He's a hero or zero guy. He'll tell you that. He's like, I'm either going to win it or you're not even going to know I'm there. He'll tell you that.
He fished the event where Mitch Down was in that we referred to, and that was a fun event. But again, like, I didn't know who that guy was, but then again, hearing from everybody, it's like, dude, you got to watch out for this dude. He is a hammer on the Lake Winnebago system, and I think he proved it.
I believe he went pretty deep in that tournament.
Yeah, was he in the championship? Because Gofron won that one. I thought it was Gofron and Jimmy in the championship.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Well, my point is that when you fish a jackpot tournament or what do they? There's no
cherry pick.
Yeah, cherry pick. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. Like when a guy cherry picks that, he's cherry picking that event on purpose.
Right.
It's his favorite time of year. It's his bite. He feels confident. I'm going to go win this.
Oh, there's one angler in the bass side, Kyle Weston. He's very successful at jackpotting tournaments. He fishes tournaments and he cherry picks the tournaments that he is comfortable fishing, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's very successful doing that.
I'm not knocking it.
This turns into, like I said earlier, a marathon where you have to have your jackpot mentality every week.
Well, but here's the difference, and I'm not knocking jackpotting stuff. Like I like to play roulette a little bit at casinos, right? Like I don't mind watching the board and you get all the blacks and all the reds, and you know I'm not against throwing a 20 down if there's been 15 blacks in a row, you know, on the deal. So I'm not against the cherry picking part. I don't think that mindset's going to be very successful in a full season of head-to-head fishing.
So you referred to it earlier. You said like your mentality has to change.
That's my opinion, yeah.
Right. So what would be your guys', because you both obviously fished tournaments in the past and you fished the 5 and so on and so forth. What is your mentalities then if you were going into 2024?
Well, for me, it's really easy because I was part of developing it, right? So I fished a head-to-head, so I understand the stress of that. Yeah, I got my ass kicked, so I talk about it every time. I would love that rematch any day. But Colin, get a boat.
Statler also calls you out a lot too.
He can.
Yeah.
He can.
He can.
That's fine. Actually, we tried to do that and he backed out. He chickened out.
Did he?
Yeah. So anyway, for me, it's easy to see it because I picked the bodies of water at the time. So if I was fishing, I would know where my confidence sits for myself. Yeah. But you have to go into that. And I'm a big fan of talking shit. Like I feel like when I go to a tournament in the morning, there's a lot of guys that know they try to stay away from me because I talk a lot of shit. Yeah, and it's all in good fun. It's all part of the fun of it, right? Like on the water, a bunch of guys in my bass club, they're all like, well, Kyle always asks, do you got 20 pounds? I'll never tell them what I have, and I'll never really ask them what they have. I just say, do you have 20? And if they say yes or no, my answer is the same. Well, you're going to need it. Doesn't matter if I got 1 fish or 5. It doesn't matter. I'm going to say the same thing. So anglers have to have that kill mentality going into every one of these matches.
From the get-go.
The get-go of getting in the other team's head.
I agree.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun to see in the morning. We're talking about adding some things to the mornings of the events where we're going to be able to pick up on that. We're going to be able to see that. Fans are going to be able to see that. So,
well, as the camera guy for the MPFL, I've learned quickly that fishing guys, anglers, are the biggest shit talkers and the best poker players around.
Oh,
absolutely. But you have to be.
You're right.
And the biggest head cases.
And like Kyle said, like, he's not the only one. You go up to some guys, and when I did this, I did it for 15 years. I knew there were some guys like Kyle I grew up to, and he was always on 20, always. Mm-hmm. And I knew there were some guys that were going to lie and say they had 0 when they were doing really well. Right. And then I always had a couple of guys that I could go up to and like Colin, I could not be like, hey, dude, I'm on like 15. Am I even close? And you'd look at me and be like, I'm like, oh, shit. You know, like you missed something, right? But that's a part of that game is like there's only so many fish in the lake. Now, we're fishing some huge bodies of water, right? So I'm not saying there's only one spot that's going to win this event. But typically, based on that time of year, they're on the rocks, or they're on the wood, or they're up the river, or or they're all the walleye fishing. They're all chasing the bait fish, whatever. Like typically, we're going to see that a lot. I think that as we go through these seasons, the lakes are dictating what these guys have to be able to do.
Yeah, and we've fished some small bodies of water in the past. We've also fished some pretty big bodies of water, but it's crazy. No matter if it was the PWS side or just regular head-to-head, how small the lakes actually fish at times.
Well, and the bite windows are like
And the bite windows, like, even though we may be 8, there still may be 2 of the 8 within shooting distance.
Oh, I guarantee it'll happen.
The most boats on the water at one time this year is going to be 6.
6.
And you will see guys fish on top of each other.
Well, especially for De Pere, right?
It's a De Pere of
De Pere's the no-brainer,
100%.
that's the
I'm
deal.
saying even on Bag or the Bay, like guys are going to find the same schools.
100%.
I mean, it's going to happen.
So here's my point on the mindset, I think the guys that practice for this, like they practice for a jackpot tournament or cherry pick tournament, or even the guys that fish a series on a lake are going to really struggle. Because if they're going to go into this with that, I'm going to practice 2-3 days and I'm going to do my thing and see what happens. I don't think they're going to be good. I don't think they're going to succeed. I really don't. And the reason for that is
You better have a good nickel and dime program.
that's my point. Like, I think you can win these multiple different ways, right? Like, you can be the team that wants to swing for the fence. You can be the team that wants to play small ball. And I think they're both going to have their place.
Yep.
My point is when you play the home run team and you're the small ball team. I'm making baseball references if anybody doesn't know that. So a small ball in baseball is.
I thought he was saying we had small balls. I was like,
Yeah, well.
yeah, it burned down.
I mean, it's interesting. You go straight to that. It just makes me feel like that's what you've heard a lot. It makes me feel like you wake up in the day and Molly's like, God dang it, man.
Let's nut up, bro. Nut up.
No, okay, so small ball in baseball is where I've got a good lineup of contact hitters. I can hit base hits, and we bunt them into we steal second, we bunt them into third, that type of a situation, right? The long ball teams, which is where Major League Baseball is now, the long ball teams up there, like every swing, we're like, how far can I hit this thing, right?
Yeah.
Like elevate and celebrate type of mindset. Fishing's very similar to that. You got the guys who are going to fish for their 5 bites. Give me 5 4-pounders. Give me the 3-4 biggest fish I can get in 4 hours. Then you're going to have the guys that are going to be like, I just want numbers. Give me numbers.
Yes.
I think in the 4 hours, see, here's where I think it changes. When you look at the bigger circuits out there that do the Everfish counts, MLF, right? When you fish that for 8 hours, I don't know if you can catch enough 4-pounders to keep up with the guys that can catch the 1-pounders, which is why I think MLF struggled with the what do they call it? Just everyone catching 1-pounders.
Yeah,
They had a name for it, whatever.
The Minnow League.
The Minnow League, thank you. No, but like,
The Real Shot is Wisconsin's #1 independent outdoors retailer that specializes in open water, hard water, and Great Lakes fishing, as well as hunting, archery, and firearms. We've got the top products from the brands you love most, priced like the big box stores, and paired with friendly hometown customer service. Stop in at The Real Shot today or visit us online at therealshot.com.
it's a bracket. I mean, that's the deal. But getting through the regular season mentally, I think, is where the big change is going to come in, because I have to be able to adapt fast now. I don't have 2 hours to see if my bite's going to go. I don't have 2 hours to make a long run between spot A and spot B. I have to be more efficient as in practice because of the time crunch and all of the what ifs. There's a million what if scenarios in fishing.
Yep.
The two big what ifs are, am I going to be the guy going for the numbers, or am I going to be the guy going for the quality? Because I think that less hours is going to allow the guy with the big bite to compete, because you're not going to be able to catch as many fish just due to the time frame being shorter.
Do you think that you can fish to stay in the middle of the pack? You know, is there a way that you can fish to be right there?
To be like, you mean like record wise?
Yeah, to like, how would that look, and what would that be if it's even feasible to fish your way?
I don't think you can even think like that.
I don't think you can think that way. You're going to end up down 4 halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I don't think you can think about being 500 and sneaking into the playoffs.
I guess there is a way of that, because the tiebreakers are set. So if you know you're going to be on the border of making the playoffs, one of the 8, maybe you start thinking big fish. Maybe you start thinking nickel and diamond to get your total weights to go up. Or
if you're going into this thinking that I'm going to play tiebreakers and be tied and whatever, you're so far behind the 8 ball. You probably don't even know what you signed up for, to be honest. Like, you're just completely out of league if that's your mindset, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's why I asked the question. Because
that'll be a good question for every one of the Meet the Anglers is, what's your game plan going into?
See, I mentioned the Iditarod this morning while we were briefly talking about this. And so if you're not familiar with the Iditarod, it's a sled dog race up in Alaska, and I covered it for like 7 years. And all of the mushers had all the same conversations we're going to have with these anglers. Well, my dogs are well trained, best team I've ever had, blah, 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 right? We're just going to see how far it goes. That was always their mindset. Well, the guys that had that mindset were never successful. Now, we covered Dallas TV. Dallas went into the race kind of with that mindset, a little bit, but then he had to deal with my dad. And my dad is very much like win or go home. Like, that's his mindset a lot. And it changed a little bit about, I'm not going to give my dad credit for Dallas being like one of the most successful mushers ever, but you have to go into the race thinking, I have a plan to win. You can't go into anything in life thinking, I have a plan to be average or mediocre. That's just not how it works. So if an angler goes into this thinking other than, I have a plan to win. Now, that's where I think the practice is going to come in huge, because I have to be able to adapt based on what the other team is doing. Now, if I'm good enough, and I know that when that bell drops, lines in, I'm going to be on them instantly, I can dictate the match.
Yep.
Right? Which is like what the Packers did on, we're taking the ball and we're going to score mindset, right? We're dictating the game. We're not letting you dictate the game. I'm dictating the game, which will be interesting to see if some of these anglers are good enough to do that.
Right.
Right? Like, lines in, you're going to play my game now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm going to be on my big fish. I'm going to crack them right away. We're going to see that a lot in the bass world, because they're going to be on the bed. They know this because bass are more territorial in how they live.
Yep.
They live, not smallies, largemouth. They live in a table, right? Where walleyes a lot of times are in a huge area. They're roaming, that type of thing. So it's a little bit harder. But they do have a half an hour? Mm-hmm. They do have a half an hour where they could be driving, scoping. Okay, we know where the school is. We're gonna stay on this school. Are they good enough? Is their program dialed in enough that they can dictate the match to where the other guy goes, oh shit, like my fish didn't fire in the first 30 minutes. Now what am I gonna do?
Right.
Well, I think that's going to happen in every match.
But is that the mind? But my point is the mindset. Is the mindset going to be like, well, we're out here, hopefully everything works good, or is the mindset going to be like, I know I've got these fish dialed in, it's going to be go time from the drop?
It's going to be over in the first half hour.
But but you've had that mindset. You've told me going into these tournaments, I'm going to know within the first 30 minutes if I'm going to win or not. Not if I'm going to do well. I've heard you. You've told me that. Yeah. He's told me, like, hey, first 30 minutes, if I'm going to win or not, I'm going to know within my first 5 casts. Yeah. But are these guys going to start thinking like that? Or are they going to, and if they are thinking like that, are they going to start talking about it? Because that's the thing, is I don't think you can, again, like sports, like I believe that there's all sorts of different kinds of leaders, but at the end of the day, if you're not the vocal leader, it's very hard to get done what you want done, right? So if the guys aren't willing to start talking about it, are they actually going to be able to do it?
You mean talking about it just like on the show?
On the shows, in the interviews, the pre-games, with the camera in their face, because it's a confidence level, right? It's walking that fine line between confident and cocky. It's all the time, right? You got to walk that fine line between confident and cocky. I know we've got at least one guy in the walleye side who has no problems walking on that line, right? I know we've got at least that one guy he's listening to this, and if he isn't right now, he's going to listen to it later on Fix TV. It's going to be like, dude, I got you, right? Like, I know that's going to happen, but that's also why he's successful at head-to-head.
Right.
Is because you got to have that mindset.
Yep.
You really, in my opinion, I could be wrong.
Is there an issue with chat on Fix TV?
No, I don't think so.
Mike Lewis just made a comment. Look at it on Facebook if you got it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, Mike.
It is really interesting, and that's why, like Brian, you and I have preached for years. It's like you said, though, it's not your average tournament.
No.
And for
it's
people that
not.
think that it is, I mean, I think they're.
Hey, real quick, I'm sorry. So, Mike, on Fix TV, up on the top right corner, there's a little like speech bubble. We're going to work on some graphics because until people get used to this, there's a little speech bubble in the corner. You click that, open it up, and the chat's on right there.
I had that too.
You might have to click on full screen on the main one. Oh, it's just spinning.
We got circle of death
Andy,
for
can you
some
look
reason.
at that? Is that actually a thing that's happening? Because I'm getting some.
I did.
Alex is in here talking about all the pressures. So
Okay. But yeah, anyways, we've mentioned this in the past, right?
we are having some technical. We're working through some stuff.
We're not your average tournament,
No.
right? And we love the drama of it. That's why one of the most fun question is on air, are you going to talk a little smack? And it's obviously the viewers love it. You know, who's good at it?
Mine's working fine. My chat's working fine.
Mine's still not.
Go back to it. Are you signed in? Let's troubleshoot this live. Okay, go back out here once. Hit that arrow.
Anyways, everybody, yes, we are going.
Hit full screen again.
Yeah, we're running through a little issues right now. Don't forget, Meet the Angler tonight at 5 p.m.
I
Central
tried it
Standard
like
Time
6
while these
times.
guys are looking at it.
Well, that's weird.
I checked the Wi-Fi.
My chat's working
Yeah.
on Fix TV. So
Mang Lee just texted me and said he's been getting kicked out too. So
on the chat.
yep. Head over to Facebook if you guys want to chat. We're having some technical difficulties with Fix TV's
Hey,
chat.
Mike, I appreciate you letting us know. But the chat is a major feature on Fix TV. If it's not working right now, like I said, I'm in there. I don't know. Definitely, we'll talk to
What's the
developers after
second
that.
chat? Yep.
Okay, we'll worry about that later, Andy.
I'm
We're not
testing
going to be
it.
able to.
All right.
I'm testing.
Hey, Corey, I got you.
All right. Now, where are we at here? Let's go.
No, that's fine. No, but
I think the confidence
a
needs
big
to
thing.
come out on screen in the mornings. Like, you just need to breathe that out of you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be somewhat of a intimidation tactic as well.
What is production side going to look like for us? Are we going to do morning interviews like we've done in the past? Are we going to get the pregame
So
jitters? Are
what we
gonna...
talked about a little bit with this is I think we're going to go live a half an hour before you and I go live.
That's
It's
perfect.
going to be Kyle or maybe even my kid Jimmy. We're going to be doing interviews on site before. So they get 30 minutes to leave the lot basically and go do their thing. Prior to that, we're going to be able to sit down with these guys either in their boats, wherever. We'll figure that out as we go. So we'll basically be live for a full hour before lines in. It's basically what's going to happen. It's basically however much time they're going to do their thing, then we'll come on, talk about the matchups, talk about all that kind of stuff, but not have to go back to that stuff. Like, I want that to be live and raw and not us trying to squeeze them in.
I agree.
You know, more at the end, at the thing, more live, more raw.
Yep. I think that's, I always like that portion of it. I love the morning interviews. I love the morning jitters. I loved when we went to the anglers, like 5 to 10 minutes. Like we had
Right.
quad box up, or we had, everybody up, and you could hear the game plans, especially when it was solo, but even with the teams, the communication back and forth. You pull up to your spot right away and you're like, I just don't feel it. I just don't feel it right here. We got to already
Well,
make
and that's
a
where the
move.
guys like Live Scope now. I mean, between live scope, side imaging, all of this stuff, if you're good at practice and good at understanding what you're seeing,
Well, and if
You're
guys
gonna
have
know.
time to practice too, there's going to be some teams with it being Wednesdays are just not going to be able to have the ability to go on a
for
a
sure.
Tuesday to practice. So
Yeah, and like that was I kind of wanted to go into that the practice thing. Like this is good.
The Real Shot is Wisconsin's #1 independent outdoors retailer that specializes in open water, hard water, and Great Lakes fishing, as well as hunting, archery, and firearms. We've got the top products from the brands you love most, priced like the big box stores, and paired with friendly hometown customer service. Stop in at The Real Shot today or visit us online at therealshot.com.
Look at each week as I went through practice. I would always be the one to set the tone. I am that guy when I coach. I am always going to be the guy to try to set the tone.
Yep.
I am going to try to get my situation. I want to be in control of my own destiny, my situation. But me personally, I think that could change week by week based on numbers or size, based on how my practice is going.
How do you think the team aspect could affect that then? Because now you have two brains, maybe not working together on this.
You could
But
see-
that's
So you guys are both strong-willed people. You could be like, well, we're going to go set the tone. And you're like, well, all of a sudden, dude, I think that's maybe not the right.
That's the team part, right? That's the team aspect of it. Again, real quick football thing. Look at the Eagles. Something was going on there. Started the season 10-1, out of the playoffs. Was it communication? Was Jalen Hurts hurt? Who knows? Then you look at a team like the Packers, who were terrible all year, 2-5, and now they're one of the hottest teams. And look at the communication. My point is, if you watch the Eagles games, everybody's kind of down, shoulders are shrunk, everything's bad.
Sorry, that ad on fixed TV's cracking me up.
It's just great. No, but like where you got the Packers out, everybody's communicating.
Fluid.
They're talking fluidly. There's interviews on the sideline where Jalen Reed's is talking to Andrew Jones about, man, like, I really look up to you. It's an honor for me to block for you.
Right.
Like, that's a scary team, right? Where that's what you're going to see with this is the teams that aren't able to get on that same page will struggle as the season goes on because, again, in my opinion, you got to adapt every week or every other week based on your basketball. Every other week you got to be able to adapt because the bites are going to constantly be changing.
All the time.
Yep. I just thought of something after Manx messaged me was that guy's like the silent assassin. You go to a tournament, he is right here all the time, level. You never see a whole.
I'm just kidding.
Burn.
No,
you never see a whole lot of.
It's a joke.
You never see a whole lot of emotion either way out of him.
Yep.
But when he shows up, everybody's like, there goes a check.
Yep.
Like, especially on the bagel chain, like when he shows up, there goes
He
a
might
check.
not verbally say it,
But that intimidation is there by the way
he's earned it.
he's earned that intimidation. He earned that respect of the way he acts the same every
No,
time.
but if you don't know, I guarantee you he gets in that boat and it's going to be,
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
get out of my way. We're setting the tone right from the
He's
get-go.
gonna, and that's where I was going with that. Is Mang is going to be the tone setter of every match, or he's going to try to be. That's the way he fishes. He will tell you he fishes to win every turn when he fishes. So
You would think that everybody's everybody's going to say they're going to do that. I don't think that's true, because otherwise every football team would do it.
Right.
Every baseball team would do it. Anybody would do it.
they might think they're doing it,
They're
but
not.
they're really
They're not capable. They might want to say it.
But do you really have the bite to back it up?
Yeah, like you're not capable of doing it. Mike McCarthy's 11-11 all time in the playoffs.
Here's his.
I can't help it. But it's so true.
I was waiting.
I know. It's all right.
Don't we have a show starting?
He's just so bad. How did he keep his job? Anyway, okay.
How do you get rid of a coach that's
I guarantee you I'm going to get into that tomorrow, because the show starts tomorrow at 11.
Oh, tomorrow is
Travis Goss is on. What's up, Trav?
Guarantee you I will get into that, because it's just mind-numbing to me.
Right.
Mind-numbing.
right.
Yeah, the mindset of head-to-head going into these events, especially with this new format, needs to be killer mentality. You need to go out there, set the tone, like Brian was saying. You need to have the confidence and show the confidence at the beginning of the day in the morning that you're going to set the tone.
Morning, Larry.
What's up, Larry?
All right. So tonight, we got like, what, 10 minutes left or so?
Yeah,
20 minutes?
22.
So tonight, we got two. Who's in here tonight?
We have Cody Solberg and Ted Miller.
And then Kyle and I are running the show.
You and Kyle are running the show
boy.
tonight. Yep.
That's going to
And
be.
again, that's the one easy thing too.
It's going to be after a conversation I had with Ted.
Do we want to tease that at all?
I don't think so. I think we let it be a surprise.
Well, we're teasing it by not teasing it.
I said that's the tease.
Is it the tease? Are we
This is-
teasing?
Supposedly there's something
huge.
something
Gargantuan coming.
something gigantuan.
Yeah.
Not huge, but
Gigantuan.
gigantuan. So
I'm excited.
anybody that follows Ted will probably catch on to that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Him and Cody.
I don't think Ted's going to have any problems trash
Can
talking.
you? Yeah.
He scares me
Do me
personally.
a favor tonight. Just like talk about
Only if he gets a green light, though.
or ask Ted like now that he's not
Ted's
fishing
on,
with
so.
Jeff. You know where's that? Is there
there's-
chat talking between
Oh yeah,
those two?
it's
already?
already
I know there is.
started. It already started.
In researching those guys, like I already know there is and there forever will be.
Yeah.
But that's where I think in any throw like Ryan Foster.
Joe
for that
says
matter,
massive. It's massive. So Joe caught on.
Joe, no.
Joe caught on by the tease.
Oh, massive.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so that's like I said before, that's the part I'm most excited about because we have partners that are not partners. You know, we have winners that are fishing against,
Well, there's a couple partners that are not partners anymore.
right. And I love the fact that, again, that's the cool thing about H2H is the new anglers that are coming into this
Yep.
year. A new angler to a new format this year for head-to-head is, in my opinion, scary.
It could be scary.
It
Absolutely.
could be really scary because, like, if you're fishing like Brian's mentality, you're just going to go out and you're going to swing for the fences, and that works for you. You're going to light the world on fire. But that experience, you can't silence that experience.
The Fox River, you're going to see everybody swing for the fence, right? Because I always say this, fishing in Door County in the mornings, like, oh, I'm not on shit. Everybody's on them. You just ain't caught them yet because you're in Door County.
You have to wait a little
so
bit.
the Fox River, everybody's on them.
Yep.
Your baits are going past 10, 11 pounders every cast. You just haven't caught them yet. So I think confidence levels are going to be huge there because it's the Fox River.
Yep.
When we get to the first Bago tournament out of Winneconne and it's 95 degrees out and terrible summertime,
Well, you talked about roulette.
then we'll see that confidence.
Think about that draw, that AM/PM draw. I mean, all of a sudden that weather warms up 5-10 degrees on the PM side of it, and
Well,
those
it's
fish start
drastic difference.
firing.
or it rains in the morning
It rains in the morning.
and
Yes.
you get chocolate milk
or
in the
vice
afternoon.
versa, right? That PM could be garbage.
We will see that this year because they can't practice in the mornings. If they're in the afternoons, how you say that?
Travis Goss just got a really good burn in on Ted.
Oh boy.
Travis, I believe he was the cameraman for Ted and
Yep, for Jeff.
Jeff?
Yep.
Ted. I hope you're seeing this. Last head-to-head, Ted managed the hand towel.
I don't even know what that means.
I
but-
do.
To dry my hands. It's the Mitch Vanner and Stevie Free situation where Stevie Free, when you were the scale boss, that was your job. I was going to ask that. Are we going to see bite windows like we saw one
100%,
event where
100%.
one guy's like, don't pick up the damn rod. Keep
The Real Shot is Wisconsin's #1 independent outdoors retailer that specializes in open water, hard water, and Great Lakes fishing, as well as hunting, archery, and firearms. We've got the top products from the brands you love most, priced like the big box stores, and paired with friendly hometown customer service. Stop in at The Real Shot today or visit us online at therealshot.com.
know the difference and everything like
Right.
that. But yeah, I mean, that's another exciting aspect of it.
If a cameraman forgets a scale in a boat when he leaves, it's a case of beer.
Oh, nice.
Just like audio, that's a case of beer.
case of beer.
Yeah, we got rules. They're fun rules.
What's the audio on?
If you forget your mic pack with the angler, Talon still owes us a case of beer, Talon.
No, tell him paid up.
Well, he bought
his
us drinks. That's right.
I'll say he brought in cookies this morning.
There was-
I think he's good.
Just so you know, there's ways around that. You just gotta be super sneaky. If you forget your mic pack, you just gotta be super sneaky.
Yeah.
But yes,
So you did it a lot.
no, I didn't do it a lot. But there are ways around it.
Okay.
Right? If you get back before your angler gets back, well, then you just get your mic pack. As long as you get your mic.
As long as you get your mic pack, you're fine.
I
don't care how it gets back.
As long as the angler doesn't go to Kyle,
Yeah.
here's your mic
As
pack.
long as I don't get a phone call or I see it.
I love that.
Yeah.
It was a lot harder for me to catch them when I was on the stage at the MPFL.
Yep. Now you got it.
Now I kind of go searching for a case of beer.
Well, yeah. Well,
Hey, Matt's back. I got to go see if he's got his mic.
It is. But I mean, yes, it's a lot of fun. But I'm looking forward to the other side of it too. I know we got what Andy said, 10 minutes left. The other side of it too are like, are we going to see any side bets?
Or in Austin.
You know, going
I think so.
into that event. I mean, the first year we had to jump off the dock into the frozen lake river type.
I still
situation.
can't believe he did that. That was awesome.
Right. But Brian, to kind of wrap everything back up.
Yeah.
Right? This is. Are we just going to say it right now? This is not a tournament. Are you going to kind of stick with that
Me
mentality?
personally, I just don't feel like it's a tournament. It's not. It's a game. It's a match. It's a however you want to look
like
at it.
Survivor for fishing.
It's a
baby.
sport. No, it's like every other sport. My whole thing with head to head is it's just another sport.
Yep.
Well, by mid-season, we'll see the reality show of it.
Right. It's just another sport. It's no different than football, baseball, basketball, bags, whatever you're playing, you're winning that. Right? It's a sport. It's not a tournament, in my opinion.
It's always been win. That's
It's always been like that.
Just be a winner.
Yep. I mean,
Yeah,
the
just don't lose.
definition of a tournament, I understand the definition of a tournament.
Right.
I'm saying is your mindset now is different because it's about making the playoffs, right? Like you can have a bad match and recover, but it's about making the playoffs now. It's not about winning every match. Yes, you're going to need to win some to go, but just because you start out 0-2 or 4-4 doesn't mean you can't.
You're not out of it.
It just means you got to make an adjustment to go. Where in a tournament, you start out 0-4 in a season like Kyle's. You start out 0-4. You're screwed. You don't make the championship anymore.
With these shows during the season, it would be kind of fun in this time frame to get some of the anglers on, and after the first show already, to find out like, what did you do wrong going into the first event?
So real quick while we're wrapping this up too, this is something else I want to talk about because we have the ability now with the new Fix TV, and we're going to get this chat stuff squared around, guys. Like the new Fix TV apps are coming out in the middle of February. All of this will be done before the head-to-head season starts. But the new apps are coming out in February. It's going to merge all these chats we're having, whatever. The Facebook chat's never going to be a thing we have to worry about. So the Fix TV chat will get all merged. It'll all be hunky-dory. Just give us a little bit of time. We're managing it. I understand it's not ideal. I appreciate everybody's patience as we move forward. With that being said, on the new head-to-head, we're going to run in this, on the new Fix, we're running this podcast year-round, right? This podcast is going to start like this. We got a lot of topics to talk about. Once we get into the season, it's going to turn into more of like a recap show, a lot of videos, replays from yesterday. Not really so much interviews, but opinions on what we saw during the day and the whole thing. Mm-hmm. We also have the ability to bring these anglers in on more of a pay-per-view aspect to sit down with Kyle and really get into the nitty-gritty of stuff. If that's something, and I say pay-per-view on purpose because we would like to have that be something where we can give back to these anglers a little bit of their extra time to do that, right? And it would be more of a real intimate setting because not everybody's going to pay that. You're going to get your questions answered. You're going to really be able to dig into this. Is that something that people would be interested in? So send a message to their Facebook page, whatever. Reach out to Kyle or myself or you. If that's something you're interested in, we can 100% do that.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
I think so too.
You know, it's like a Patreon type thing where if Ted and Cody just had a big win, I hear you, have a big win and like it was real controversial. Like, oh, man, he got it over to Gunnell within 5 seconds of the end of the match. We can talk to them later that week about that. Fans can ask questions.
Think about coming off the Mille Lacs event. How many people would have paid to sit down with the Blossers and figured out exactly what their program was? How many people would have paid?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Like we're not.
How many people would have wanted to talk to Marianne about not catching a walleye in the last day?
I feel like
that a burn?
Stop the show. I don't know. Maybe.
Was that a burn?
Might have been.
Is that a lazy thing?
Yeah, might have been a lazy thing. I'm not sure.
No, but I think it's cool, but would people be interested in it, right? Because I've got a lot of cool ideas that nobody cares about. So I think it's great.
I think it'd be awesome. It'd be fun to do.
Well, again, as you watch the show, whether you watch it now, again, we appreciate everybody tuning in, or if you watch it later on, fire that out there. How do you feel like the mentality would be if you were fishing head-to-head in 2024? What's your mentality going into every event? Are you the home run hitter, or are you I'm just going to go pound on 1 and 2 pounders for 4 hours straight and see?
You know, there might be a guy out there. Now you triggered it. There might be a guy out there that's like, I don't care about the dictating because I'm good enough that I'm going to beat you at whatever you think you want to do.
Meng Lee.
Right?
That's Meng. I
don't really care. I'm not even worried about dictating. You play me your cards, and then I'm going to play you mine.
Is the pressure of being an H2H champion a big thing in going into 2024?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. It's a completely different format. You have a huge advantage, I feel, if fishing one in the past.
You know, we asked that multiple times, right? I think we got like 3 minutes.
We got 10.
Is that
what's me? Megan? What's me?
Is that the advantage or is it disadvantage? But you just brought up though, it's a whole new everything.
It's a whole new format.
I think with the camera
the season changes it all.
I think the camera being in the boat might give you the upper edge on some of these guys. But everything else it's fair game, right? The shortened format. These guys that extra hour may mess with a lot of people.
See, I think it's going to benefit more guys than it hurts.
The extra or the shorter hour?
I think losing the hour is going to be a bigger benefit to guys than they think. They're all going to disagree with me right now. That's fine. I'm used to that, right, Kyle?
Whoever loses is going to want that extra hour.
I don't disagree. But
Every match. Yep.
the anglers that understand that it can work to their advantage are going to love it because they're going to just watch it happen. I think it's just going to happen. I think they're all going to hate it at first, just like they all hated going down to 5 hours from 8 hours. They're all going to hate it. I've thought about this so many times about trying to equal out. Like,
The Real Shot is Wisconsin's #1 independent outdoors retailer that specializes in open water, hard water, and Great Lakes fishing, as well as hunting, archery, and firearms. We've got the top products from the brands you love most, priced like the big box stores, and paired with friendly hometown customer service. Stop in at The Real Shot today or visit us online at therealshot.com.
Set the tone and win I fish every tournament I've ever been in to blow it out. Hero or zero. You're not first, you're last, Ricky Bobby.
Right. So
I don't ever fish for second. I left tournaments pissed off finishing second. It sounds arrogant, but Gary Atkins and I had a streak of seconds one year, and I'd go home pissed off. If I had a dog, I would have kicked it. Like,
don't say that.
Just mad about not winning. So
can you imagine the hate mail we're going to get now, Kyle?
Yeah, that'd be all right.
The chat's not working, so we're good for right now.
We're good on Facebook. We might get kicked off Facebook because they said I was going to kick a cat. I didn't say COVID, so.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a good thing because like your mindset and your mindset are somewhat similar at times, but now like we're finding out you're a 5-pounder or nothing.
Here's the difference between us. He's pissed off when he finishes second and goes home. I look at it as every day is a small win. I try to find a small win all the time. So I will try to set the tone. You show me that I'm really not ready for today, because what's going to happen, right? I'm going to think I'm going to go into this match being able to set it. You're my competitor. You're going to show me like, no, not today. And then I'm going to figure out a way to survive. And to me, again, this is the coaching aspect of my life, is sometimes you win the game, you can survive that game as much of a win as the win itself.
Yep.
Looking at a full season, right? Like I might lose this matchup, but in my mind, I showed you, I tried, you pushed back and said, not today, buddy. And then I'm like, oh crap. Real quick, that could have gotten ugly. So instead of losing by 30 pounds, I was able to only lose by 25 because of the adjustments I made. Yeah. And now I'm going to carry that forward into the next match.
Well, like a guy like with Kyle's mentality, he may be all of a sudden just that downward spiral has started after that second place finish. Where how do you come back
Right.
from that? Where you're
Well,
saying
that's what pushes you. Like that's what keeps me wanting to do it. Like it's so maddening on you think you did everything right, but somebody did something better. What did they do better to beat me by 7/100ths of an ounce?
Right.
Like that one sticks in my head. Like that tournament, Gary and I did everything right. The last cast of the day, I caught a 611. The last cast of the day, caught a 611, and it helped by like 1.5 ounces.
Jesus.
Like it wasn't a huge help.
Yeah.
So we're going into the weigh-in like
Got it.
you know.
I think the mental part is way underplayed with what this is going to do to the anglers.
Yep.
It's really going to
It is maturity.
it's really going to force them to think differently, function differently, and that's my stance on it's not a tournament because your tournament mindset isn't going to work.
And as you say that, I'm thinking about some of the anglers that I personally know that are fishing this, and there's some that are just like you say, the Mang Lee of them. They're just right here. That's a scary ass person to know, because you can't get him to waver one way or
But if
another.
you're going to be able to,
But on the flip side, we've seen anglers in the past that are up here all the time in a way of like good or bad. Their emotions are like this, you know. And
There's a side that we're not even thinking about yet, and that's the tiebreakers. You don't want to take your foot off the gas in these matches because you're not fishing tomorrow.
well, maybe that's a good next
total
Thursday
weight,
topic, then.
total weight is a tiebreaker for the season. There's going to be ties.
let's get into that next week.
That's
Tiebreakers coming next week.
Well, yeah, there you go. So that's our topic. You just set it up for next week, tiebreakers and how it's going to come forth in 2024. Again, everybody, don't forget tonight, we're right back here again for another Meet the Angler. We got Cody Sahlberg.
Meet the angler.
Anglers.
Anglers. Well,
No, I mean an angler and meet. No,
he
got it.
teaser.
tie them
I'm
together.
excited.
Teaser. So
eating
that's
lunch.
tonight at
Might
5
not eat
p.m.
lunch
Central
either.
Standard Time right here on Fix TV. Again, we appreciate everybody watching this morning. Follow along on all our socials if you haven't already. And do us a favor as well, besides helping us on the Fix TV side, share the content.
Yep. Like
Share it all over the place.
Get over to Fix TV, get your account set up. It's like literally takes like 12 seconds.
12 seconds.
Starting tomorrow, TRS Live Shopping is coming back. Might as well give that a plug to one of our sponsors, The Real Shot. TRS Live Shopping coming back. Tune in tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
Now, are these deals good or are they like gigantuan?
Gargantuan.
They're gigantuan deals?
Yeah,
You will probably be
Jerry.
salivating.
the deals are probably going to get us in trouble, but we're going to deal with that later.
Not our problem. All right, thanks everybody so much. Enjoy your morning, your Thursday morning, and we'll see you back here again at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time for Meet the Angler.